Guys, I started a recording. So last class we discussed about what is peer-to-peer, what is server and client. So remember, server always provide a service and client access the service. Server is a server, client is a client. Server provide a service and client is access the service. Of course, server may get some different services, but still it is a what type of server it is based on that server only. Not this time, not other time kind of stuff. Always it is a server. Like for example, you're taking a web server, it is a web server only. It is a web server. It can be a multiple servers. There is a web server, provide a web services to the multiple clients. So client request for a server, client request for a service to the server, server respond to the client according to the request. So when it is sending a request, client sending a request, and server response based on their protocols. The request and response understand by the protocols. So that's why protocols also very important. Next one is depends upon a server. So based on what service it is providing. What are the services or what service? Either a server can provide a single service or a multiple services. Okay, a server can provide a single service or a multiple services. If you see here it is okay. So some of the servers I specified here based on the services. Okay, web server, file server, DHCP server, DNS server, Active Directory domain controller, which is authentication server, Windows deployment server or deployment server, mail servers, VPN servers, virtualization servers, storage server, database servers. Lot of different type of servers are there based on the what services we are providing. Okay, server become a server. A server can able to provide a service by installing a role or a feature by installing a role or a feature or maybe a package and maybe an application. So it is become a it can able to provide a service. For example, here if I install Microsoft Exchange server application on a server, it become a mail server. If I install a Tomcat in a server in a machine, so it is become a web server and application server. Okay, if I install a feature is or a role called a DHCP, then it become a DHCP server. Okay, so if in case I have taken an empty PC, a physical machine, have taken and installed an operating system base means a hypervisor. I install a hypervisor on a, a physical machine, it become a virtualization server. Okay, if I start sharing a data from a server, so I created a folders and sharing a data and control the data access using a protocols called NFS or CAFS, then it is become a file server or a storage server. Or you can create if you create a NAS kind of storage, that is also storage server. You install a Oracle database in a machine, then it become a database server. See, so by installing a role, built-in role, or a feature, or by installing a package or a application, so a machine can able to provide a service and it become that server. Next, so what is this server machines kind of stuff? By installing OS, also we can call that one as a service, not a specific service it is, but we can call that one as a something like a server. It is a server, that's it. It's a Windows server, a Linux server, or a Unix server, or any virtualization server, Hyper-V server, VMware server, VMware vSphere server. Okay, so point is by installing but the server operating systems or a server hypervisors or server applications, so it become a server. So these are the certain examples. So when we are in a using in an industry, so here it is in my laptop also I can install a server operating system, but not it is really a server. It is okay. It is just act like a server, not as a 100% perform as a server. So in a an enterprise, there is a different type of servers in a hardware modeling, that is tower server, rack server, and blade servers are there. Tower servers is usually like if you are using only two, three servers or four servers kind of stuff, you can go for a tower server. That is enough. But tower server occupy more space, cabling, power connections, and all. Rack servers reduce that point, and it is fixed into the rack. Blade server is also same thing. So blade is also we can easily fit into the rack, but compared to the rack server, blade servers save more space, and compared to tower server, rack servers save more space. Of course, we discussed about basic thing about what are the components of data centers and what is the meaning of data center monitoring also. Like a data center contains different servers like rack server, blade server, tower servers, and different network components like a router, switches, HBA, NICs. What is HBA? Host bus adapters. Is a kind of NICs, Ethernets, NICs, anything. And there is storage kind of stuff. Disk, SCSI disk are there. SAN storages, NAS storages, RAID configurations. These are all configurations only. These are all configurations only. But all are having a disk. All are having a mainly without a disk. Disk can be a SCSI disk or SAS disk or any SATA disk. Disk can be anything or a type. It can be created types, uh, storage, SNAS or SAN storage type or a iSCSI models. Okay, or iSCSI models or RAID levels you are configuring. But whatever it is, mainly important is storage. Okay, power connections. The power supply already given here. Okay. Power supply, cooling system. So these are all make a data center. So what is the data center monitoring? Monitoring the servers, network components, IP addresses, network components, IP addresses, connectivity, connectivity, device connectivity. Okay, so traffic. You can say traffic kind of stuff. Okay, and different storage devices, how it is working, how much it is there. So based on that we can monitor. So monitoring an infrastructure or monitoring data center is also almost same. Okay, so how power supply is there, how temperature it is we are maintaining. We should not maintain a wet type of temperature there. Okay, humidity also we have to maintain properly, so not required more humidity there. So it will damage the systems. Okay, people going inside, so then it is meaning is they should maintain a oxygen level properly. Don't put a 100% oxygen, because if more oxygen means if small spark will give you big fire accident. Auto extinguishers. Then what we can say, in a data center you have to maintain fire extinguishers. When you go to very big apartments, hospitals, movie theaters, so you see the fire exits, fire extinguisher. There is a red color cylinders are there. Okay, so compulsory you have to maintain in that one. So in generally in a home or in a normal regular offices, If any fire accident is occur, immediately the water sprinkling is there. But this is a data centers, right? So data center means it contains servers, network components, mainly important the data stores in the devices. If water sprinkling is there, then it is immediately damages the entire thing. Okay, there is a possibility. So then it is better automatically when there is a fire, if and it is senses smoke, immediately it will spray the fire extinguisher, or immediately it will stop the oxygen supply and kind of. Okay. Also maintain the heat levels. Don't know, no, not a too much heat and not a too much cold kind of stuff. So this entire internal data center should be monitored perfectly. No dust inside kind of stuff. Physical security, network security is also important. I didn't write all the things, but here it is. You can say firewalls, IPS, IDS kind of stuff. What is IPS, IDS, guys? Institution Prevention System, Institution Detection System. It means someone is trying to attack on your infrastructure, your network. Okay, someone is trying to attack. So of course, you put a firewall means you put a wall, you put a door, you put a lock, very secure lock. So no one can able to enter inside. But there is, but still, how much big locking system you are maintaining, how the robberies are happening because of there is some loophole. So people will try to find the loophole and they enter into your environment. So if already entered, it means there is a work of IDS and IPS part. What they will do, any unauthorized packet is delivered inside your infrastructure, okay, through something using some loopholes and all. So immediately it will detect and prevent it from happening again, from not happening again. So that is IPS and IDS. Intrusion prevention system, intrusion detection. Now in a securities, this is also one of the top. Compared to firewall, IPS IDS is top. Okay. In networking also MPLS is always top now. So this is about a monitoring of servers, network, and what is their status. Different monitoring tools also they use. Okay. So any issues occur immediately, a notification will come up that is called, we say, alert. So whenever the unusual event is occur, like error or warning is generated, so that is also notified by alerting system. That alerting system immediately, and also we can automate, um, create a one ticket, raise the ticket and forward to the particular team based on the issue happened that related areas, or maybe notify to the service desk. The service desk people will check it immediately, forward that create a ticket and forward. Okay. And also we discussed about our group domain. So guys, this is also very important question. Not only now, later also it is very important. Okay. So work group is a decentralized administration. So each PC has their own user, and there are it themselves, it is a local administrators. So a local administrator can able to modify settings, installation, uninstallation, kind of stuff. Okay. But they don't have any rights to log into another pieces. So this is a decentralized administration or centralized control. Domain is a centralized administration. So all users, groups, computers are stored in a central PC. So domain administrator is the administrator for all PCs in the domain. We can control the user settings by enforcing of settings through group policies. Okay. Next one is we discuss like how do you know you are in a work group or a domain? You can simply go to your Windows button settings. There you can find system. Under the system, you'll find last one is about. Go to about, rename this PC. Then you can find um, this work group, and so just rename this PC. System properties, computer name. Click on change. You can see it is a work group, and also you can see this is the work group, and here also work group. By command also we can know it. That's a different point. Okay, but you can see there is a member of domain. So if it is showing member of domain, some domain name means you are in a domain. But if you see here it is work group name is work group means you are in a work group. Sometimes in some places people change their work group name, does not mean it is not in the work group. So work group, the option work group is work group. This is name, just a name only. You can put a work group name is like a office 123, or maybe cabin 123, cabin 1, cabin 2, cabin 3, cabin 4, like kind of work group also you can create. So that group of systems in the same work group, so they can easily share the printers and all kind of stuff. So they are created, but not exactly, it is not a centralized control. Next, whenever we discuss about a domain, so then we have to discuss about Active Directory domain, a logical administrative boundary of users and computers. So how can we create a domain? Domain is a logical entity. So how can we create a domain? So we need a centralized server. We need a centralized server. In the centralized server, we have to install a Active Directory domain services. Active Directory domain services. Using this Active Directory, whenever you install Active Directory domain services, so you are become a domain controller. So you become a domain controller. Okay, you need a server, and in a server you have to install Active Directory domain services. So you become a domain controller. Okay, so you are a domain controller means you have a Active Directory database storage called ntds.dat, which stores the information or identity of users, groups, computers, services, resources in it. And also this Active Directory will do authentication service, like when our user is log into the computer, so automatically they will login. How they will log in? So whenever this user one want to log into C1, the information, the login information go to the server A under domain controller. So in a domain controller, that authentication protocol called Kerberos using KDC system. Okay, so okay, authentication protocols try to verify the data from these compute from the database. Is C1 is there or not? Yes, C1 is sorry, U1 is there or not? Yes, U1 is there. And U1 password is correct or not? Yes, user password is correct. Is user is asking to log into C1, can we give that permission? Yes. So first one is verification of user authenticity, like U1 user 1 is there or not? Yes. User 1 password is this is correct password or not? Yes. So the both are correct, right? So then your server will give you, server authenticate the user. Yes, your username and password is correct, so server is authenticate the user. Next, user is asking, I want to log into the C1. I want to log into the C1. So then what is this Active Directory do? So it will authenticate user. It authenticate user. Okay, user is verified, is authorized. This user is authorized user and is allowed to access C1. Giving permission. Okay. For example, I have a list of students are there. Okay. So look, for example, you're all going to write already some are attended. I think so. I don't know. But for example, you have to write a examination. So what is the thing? First of all, you need a hall ticket. on hall ticket number, your name and everything should be proper, right? So then the guy is will verify is your you have a other me you are authenticated, you are verified with your hall ticket, right? So then you are allowed. Once you are allowed, you are allowed or not. So allowing is called a authorization. Exactly. Say, yeah, you have a exam portal. You given your email ID password, which is registered already. So you are given a I given an ID and password to you. So you entered a ID and a password. Understand? So you are trying to enter into exam portal. I'm giving I gave you a ID and password for an examination. So you enter a ID and password. So what the server will do, it will verify this is user ID is correct and password is correct. So you are authenticated. Now the portal is open. It is allowed to access the portal. Which one is you are allowed to access? Which exam? Like there is a 10 exams are there. Only you are allowed to access five thing. So you are asking like exam one. I want to write a exam one. English exam I want to write. So then it is open. Then it is called like authorization. This is my user identity. I got already authenticated. Let me access this exam one. Then it will verify if you are allowed to access. It will allow. If you are not allowed to access, it not allow. That is a authorization. That is enough. Okay. Authentication means verification of identity. Authorization means allowing to access. Okay, guys. So here it is. Another. Yeah, this is an active directory. What is an active directory? Active directory database stores identity of users, computers, groups, users and computers. At least remember that point. Okay, stores users and computers, services and resource information, and active directory also do authentication when user is log into domain. Okay, so active directory maintain a database which contains a user and computer information. Active directory authenticate users when they log into the PCs. These are the main points, guys. Only three, 4 points are there. Two, three, two plus additionally 2 points. Just read it and go. What is Azure ID? Azure is a Microsoft Cloud Service provider. Azure ID is means Active Directory service from the Azure Cloud only. Yeah, this is some authentication authorization kind of stuff. DHCP already we discussed. Just only I'm revising to make you to remember this thing because it's very easy, and as well as if you don't read, then you will forget. That's why I'm telling again. Okay, so dynamic host configuration protocol, port number 6768. DHCP servers assign an IP address to clients automatically. So in our home, our Wi-Fi router act like a DHCP server. So whenever we connected to the Wi-Fi, the DHCP part of Wi-Fi router will give us an IP address automatically. So we are getting an IP address to our mobile phones, laptops, or smart devices like a smart TVs, smart LEDs, printers, getting an IP address from DHCP server only. Very simple way. I am not reading everything. Okay, here. So to assign an IP address to any device, we can assign manually and automatically. So you are getting an IP address automatically means you are getting an IP address from a DHCP server. That is called a dynamic. Okay, manual means you can go to the device and fix an IP address. It is a static IP address. It cannot be changed automatically. And if you change the network, IP address cannot be changed. automatically if it is manual. And it is also very difficult to assign for a multiple number of devices increases. Each device you cannot assign IP address. It is difficult, and there is a possibility of wrong addresses and conflicts. Okay, not everyone to not required to know about how to assign an IP address, and for certain devices it's always difficult to assign an IP address. In a DHCP, by using DHCP, we can easily give an IP address to the multiple devices. There is a less or no possibility of wrong IP address conflicts. If conflicts are there, it automatically resolve. Everyone not required to know an IP address because just there are need to connect and they will get an IP address. So they can start communicate. Different type of devices also will easily we can assign an IP address like a mobile phone, smart devices, smart kind of stuff. So then from DHCP server. Of course, DHCP server provide an IP address, assign an IP address to the clients only to the DHCP clients. If any device is configured as a manual, so DHCP server won't give IP address to the that device. Okay, and DHCP server process works based on a DORA discover, offer, request, and acknowledgement. What is a discover? So actually, as I said earlier, servers the servers never provide any service to the client until the client requests a service from server. Okay, so server don't push any services to anything. Server is pulling the service. Actually, server requesting, sorry, client requesting service from the server. Server respond based on the client request. In this one, DHCP client means your adapter. In the adapter you selected obtain IP address automatically. So your DHCP client try to discover where is the DHCP server. Well, and server once received a packet, then it is give a IP offer to DHCP client. So then DHCP client request for that IP address to the server, and the server finally send an acknowledgement by configuring the server. So the IP address configuration from the DHCP server, it includes IP address, subnet mask, possible default gateways, DHCP server address, DNS address based on your DHCP server, of course, and there is a lease duration. Okay, so this is what we discussed. Last point is about two things, guys. One is APIPA and another are also there. So that is first one is we'll discuss about APIPA, automatic private IP address. Whenever you want to get an IP address from DHCP server, in case of DHCP related issue or connectivity related issue, you are not getting an IP address from DHCP server. So what will happen? So if you are not getting an IP address from DHCP server, the client assign an IP address. Client assigns an IP address to itself with a series of 169.254, and how the remaining octets will fill. So it is based on your MAC address. Based on your MAC address to maintain a unique identity. But still, if you are having an IP path means you are getting an error. So obviously you have to go to check your DHCP server, make sure it is working, make sure it is able to release the IP addresses, and make sure that is your DHCP. Make sure that it is releasing an IP address and connectivity between DHCP server and client system. Okay, find out any issues are there between the server and client. Try to resolve it first. Still in the client the IP address is not changing from 169.254 to DHCP IP addresses. So what you have to do it, go to network adapter settings, go to network adapters, right? So control panel, network and sharing centers, change adapter settings, then disable the adapter and enable the adapter, or you can do it, you can go to command prompt ipconfig release and ipconfig renew. The ipconfig release, it removes the world IP addresses, and ipconfig renew will get new IP address from DHCP server. You try to get a IP address from DHCP server using Dora process. So how to flash our IP address, current IP address or world IP address, ipconfig space release. Not only these commands in this scenario, guys, and also it is useful in another scenario. For example, I'm in currently in a one network, so I got some IP address, right? So what happens? So tomorrow I have to go to office. Then I go to office. I connect a network there, but my IP address is not changing according to their network. Okay, it is not a static IP, it is a dynamic IP only. Dynamic option, obtain IP address automatically option only. So whenever I connect it to a new network, I should get an IP address from DHCP server. So what you have to do it, so very simple, go to command prompt, so ipconfig space slash release and ipconfig space slash renew, or disable enable the adapter is also okay, good. Okay. So whenever I change the network, my IP address should be changed automatically, but it is not changed. Okay, in this case, and if still not changing, okay, so either you are getting a world IP address or maybe you are getting a PIPA. So compulsory check the connectivity and service of the DHCP server, and once it is resolved, and try it again. So this is about a troubleshooting. Guys, next topic is domain name system. So that is, we are going to start that today with that one. So but already I given a pre information. So today we'll go into, next we are going to discuss about a domain name system, DNS server, how it is works. The next one is, I'm not going very depth, there are a lot of things about a DNS server. Okay, but I will explain somewhat better way, I mean somewhat little depth, but this is the first page is very important. That's why I'm explaining now, and I will explain it again after small break. Also, we are going to discuss about a VPN, proxy, Outlook. Okay, so basic things I'm going to I try to explain those things. I will try how much we can able to cover today. Otherwise, we'll cover tomorrow also. Okay, so what is the domain name system? So domain name system, port number is 53, maps name to IP address. What is this map name to IP address? For example, I'm trying to communicate google.com as a communication RAM. As per the communication, all communications by IP address only, you cannot communicate with the name, but we are all communicating with the name. How it is possible? There is a DNS server. So usually you have everyone having a DNS server in their home, that is nothing but your Wi-Fi router. In general, I'm talking in general, not always, not always. Okay. So in general, that is your DNS server, not complete DNS server. It is local DNS server. So it may not have a information about a name and IP address related. So what I'm doing is, I'm trying to ping it to the www.google.com. First of all, I got an IP address. Who given this IP address to communicate to www.google.com? DNS server. DNS server. Very simple words, but there is a big hierarchy is there. But before that one, how I getting an IP address for the google.com is because of DNS server. Okay, it is an example to say DNS server is a kind of thing, name and contact type. Means your mobile phone contact list is there. You cannot remember all the numbers, but we can able to communicate with the telephone numbers only. Okay, so we cannot remember all the numbers, telephone numbers. So what we will do it, we'll save in the contact list name and the phone number, name and the phone number. Okay, so when you are in a mobile phone, you try to call to your friend or someone. So what you will do, will search the number by name. They'll first we will try to get this name. So then we'll get a phone number. So then we'll call to that one, right? So that is simple example for DNS. Example is also very important, guys. That's it. When you call to someone, so open name and call, but call goes with a phone number only. You're dialing to a name, but exactly say the name again from your contacts list. You will check and call goes to that phone number only. So see, this is the same way our DNS server works. Okay, so this is an example I showed. See, it is google.com. In this one is different. In this one is different. Little different. Why is that? Because Google don't never put up only one single IP always. It can be keep changing. Okay, about the DNS again after small break I will tell. Okay, okay, guys. Hope you got it. So take a just 5-10 minutes means short 3:30, maximum 3:30, not more. Okay, because I got only 1 hour class.